Training. This is Good Morning Abuja on the Unity Station NTA Channel 5 Abuja, and you've not really missed anything, but you've missed a bit. Next is my second conversation on the program, and we'll be talking about mobile phone addiction. Who is here with me to talk about this topic? He is Dr. Ubong Simeon, a psychologist, and together we'll be talking about this very important topic. You're welcome to Good Morning.
Thank you very
Abuja
much for
Studio.
having me. Thank you.
Yeah, as I said in my intro, we're talking about mobile phone addiction. As how do I put it now? It's something people are familiar with, like the mobile phone itself, but the addiction has really caused so many things, negative, especially if I'll put it that way, because it has its positive impact and all that. But I want to know, what would you say now is an addiction to mobile phone? Let me put it that way.
Okay, what would I say is an addiction to mobile phone?
Because you owning a phone is different, and they've been addicted to it. How would you know you're actually addicted? What would you say?
Okay, so there's what we call SAD, which is a smartphone addiction disorder.
Oh, wow.
All right, so
Okay.
this is something that has not been there before, and
That was before when now?
before smartphones.
Okay, before smartphones.
Before
Okay,
smartphones.
okay.
So we have smartphone disorder, addiction disorder. When you know you're addicted to a mobile phone is when you can't do without it. One. Secondly, when you know very well that you're placing mobile phone as a priority over practical things. For example, social life, communicating with physical people.
I
And
was going to say, when you say social life now
Exactly.
you said physical, okay.
physical people, because definitely you can communicate with anybody in the world
Yeah.
with a mobile phone, but then having interaction with people as human beings, because that's who we are, right? But once you know that mobile phone has taken that space, that part of you that's supposed to have communication with real people, and you are more addicted to it because you are more into mobile phone communication rather than physical communication, that means you're suffering from smartphone addiction disorder.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay, so is something else to actually own a phone? It's not something else to know that you are actually addicted, because now I would say, okay, I actually just go through my phone, maybe in the morning till night, or you just discover that you are on it from morning till night. In fact, once the battery is down, in fact, some people work with their power bank. They don't even want it to go down, because once it's down, it's like a whole a part of them is gone. Like
Right.
they are not the same again. So at what point do you actually say, okay, I am addicted and I need help?
First of all, you have to recognize you have a problem.
How do I recognize that I have that problem?
Exactly the same way when you have stomach pain, you go to the hospital.
Okay.
So when you have stomach pain, you go to the hospital because you know you have going through pain. You recognize it first. You don't live in denial.
Okay.
Yeah, because the problem with some people is that they live in denial. I'm not addicted to my phone. I'm always keeping it aside, but that's not true. You know it's not true. So when you recognize the problem first, you look for help. How can you help yourself? You can probably set a timetable
Okay.
and how you should use your phone. All right, you know your work, you know the kind of work you're doing. You say, okay, I have to, when I'm at work, I have to concentrate and work. When I'm home or when I'm out from work, I'll use my mobile phone and reply messages. Most messages can wait.
Okay.
Instagram updates can wait. All those things can wait for you when you are more active. Once you're out from there, you can actually go through your mobile phone and reply
the time
messages
frame
or
if
have
possible.
that time. But then you have to be intentional about it.
Okay.
Yeah, because you realize that most people, the first thing when they wake up in the morning is not telling their partner good morning
Yeah, exactly.
or going to check on their kids if they've showered for school. Is they hold their phone first, swipe for update. Before you know it, they are late for work and they want to rush to work. And even while en route to work, they're still with their mobile phones. No communication. For example, when I was in Malaysia, I went through a train, a public transportation. I find out that nobody spoke to anybody.
Wow.
No hi, how are you? No. Everybody on their phones. Nobody's talking to anybody. And to a point that it becomes, to me, I was like, am I the only person without touching my phone? I think I should take out my phone and just
Like
go
you're
through
left
certain
out.
things. I was left out. I was like, okay, I think for me to feel I'm included in this society, I have to also take out my phone, block my ears,
Wow.
and then also look for something to do over the phone. So I think it's best for us to first of all recognize that we have a problem, we're addicted to our phones, and find solutions. That helps everywhere. There are even some apps that can actually cut down your usage of phone. And not only that, we know that mobile phones addiction can cause like mental health issues.
Okay.
Because during lockdown, a lot of kids go through a lot of depression. They went through depression because they didn't feel they had a sense of belonging anymore. They were looking for external validation every time. For example, they will post a picture of themselves. They are not making up well. And then they expect people to like the picture.
Okay.
And then you see, most of them will have like 5 likes. That depressed them. Okay, I think my body wasn't exposed enough. Let me just expose my body a little bit. Maybe I'll get some kind of attention. And before you know it, this drives these kids towards a certain angle, a certain lifestyle that they're not used to. Why? Because of the drive of the mobile phone. Yes, mobile phone do have advantages, but the disadvantage of mobile phone is a lot.
Wow. Okay, so now mentioning kids and what have you, at what age now do you, because some parents actually give mobile phones to their children to take to school, and then when asked, you hear maybe so that you can monitor your children in school, and then maybe when they are through with school to know when to come and pick them up and all that. And then it's just, it's like the trend is normal, it looks normal, but at what age is a child supposed to be able to, or if possible, what can you do to actually checkmate their use of mobile phone?
I think my advice for parents is that I think it will depend on a child, because if you place age on it, there's some kids that are more responsible than their parents.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think in that case, we should create a system in the school. There should be a school system that provides someone or a system that will send bulk message of probably a reminder to parents and say, okay, you have to pick your child by 1 o'clock, and by 12:30 that message is out to all parents. Because I know parents wants to monitor their kids, wants to know what is going on. They give their mobile phones, but it will become a distraction. Because while they're studying, they're not using their mobile phone. Right? So if you give them mobile phone and they download all this application that will make them be addicted or actually drive them into that addiction, you are not helping them educationally.
Okay.
You're rather deterring them, just bringing them backward educationally, because first of all, it will diminish problem solving skill. It will diminish interpersonal skill, because interpersonal, they cannot really communicate with their friends, because during break time they have to be with their phones because it's a break time. So the break time, instead of me spending with other kids, I have my phone. I have applications that are great, that I love to see, that I love to play games with. That's what they're going to do. But break times, we can actually use it to check your homework, to read, to talk to friends, to play with friends, or even go to a teacher that explained mathematics you didn't understand and ask for more explanation. But if there is a mobile phone, the kid will not do that. Or sometimes those kids will call their mom while they are working. Why? Because they have access to the phone. They distract their mom from work and they call unnecessarily. But if you have a system in school where a child will go to a particular office and say, I want to talk to my mom because I'm having stomach pain, they would put a call through the mom to the mom and say, okay, your child is having this issue, come. And then we can checkmate what they really want to do with the phones. So if a child goes and say, I want to talk to my mom, I don't like my friend is doing this, then you know it's not necessary. You address it accordingly. But if they are with their phones, they'll call their mom and tell their mom, my friend is trying to fight me, or my friend is having issues with me. And the mom would not even know what is going on, would probably call the school and say, why do you allow this? And that will cause an issue. So I wouldn't say at so age we should give them phones, but I'll say we should be intentional about it. If we know that it's necessary for us to keep track of our kids in school, let's make sure that there's someone in school. The school system should create an avenue where there is someone there that will be able to, kids can go to, a go-to person that can go to, please reach my mother, reach my father, because this is what I want and this is what I need. And even with that, it will help the school itself. If the school are doing, probably they gave homework, they'll alert the parents, okay, there's homework today, make sure your child does their homework. Okay. That will actually help. But the kids being with the phone, there'll be a lot of distraction.
Wow. Okay, so now we're done with the kids. We want to talk on adults now, like how their usage of phone, how productive is it actually to work? Because I know now we would say it has its negative side, but I want to believe that mobile phones actually can actually be productive at the workplace. So what are those things that actually mobile phones can help us do at the
Okay.
workplace?
I'll set example because there are some people that are social media managers.
Okay.
There are people that are managing different platforms. That's their aim meet. That's what they use in feeding their family.
Okay.
But then they have to be intentional about it. There's time for everything. So if you allow the use of mobile phone to infiltrate your family time or your personal time with your kids or your family, your partner, or whoever it is, but if you allow mobile phone to take that space, that is not good because that's playing a negative role in your life. So when you see people that are actually like into social media managers, they're managing platforms or they're managing someone's platform, Instagram, LinkedIn, or Twitter, and all that, and they have to do certain research online every time. It's good. It's being productive. It's you being productive. But at the end of it, you have to be intentional about it. If you're not intentional about it, you become addicted to it, which will cause social isolation and cause other issues as well. Yeah.
Okay, so before I let you go, just a final word to people, because mobile phone, almost everybody, and in fact, once you don't have a mobile phone, it's like you are left out, and then it's not everybody that knows how to actually handle this addiction. So I want you to put a word out there for people to be able to know when and what to do actually when you realize you have this addiction.
Okay, so like I mentioned before, we do have this SAD, which is a smartphone addiction disorder. It's not a bad thing to have a smartphone addiction disorder. It's just that you need help. Help in a sense that if you know that you have this issue, look for help. Find a psychologist, look for someone to talk to, and try to probably set a pace between your usage of mobile phone. It will help you. For example, you can set a timetable. You can use your mobile phone probably in the afternoon and so time, maybe an hour in the morning, an hour in the afternoon, an hour in the evening before you sleep. But don't allow it to get used to you to a point that it takes over your social life, because that's going to affect you at the long run. If you own a family, you have with a family, you'll find out that you won't even have a life with your kids. You won't have a life with your partner if you keep getting addicted to mobile phone. So my advice is, if you have this addiction, look for help. Find a way to bring down, cut short the usage of mobile phone, because practice makes improvement. Because when you practice on something every time, you improve on it. So if you practice on reducing the usage of mobile phone, you'll get used to it. So look for help.
Wow.
That's my advice.
Wow, that's a good one. Thank you for coming on Good Morning Abuja. You really
you.
told us a lot, and some people are not aware they're actually falling into addiction, or they're already addicted and all that. But with this eye opener you just told us now, I'm sure so many people will change. And I believe we'll call you again some other time too,
No problem.
for an update and all that.
Thank you very much.
So we'll be speaking with Dr. Ubong Simeon. He is a psychologist, and he has told us what to do when you know you are addicted to mobile phone usage. We'll go for a short break, and after that the program continues.